everyone, Ben back from Living Survival, and one of the things I love doing is showing you guys my sleep systems that I put together for the warmer months and also for the cooler months. So today we are going to take a look at my winter sleep system. I've shown you a few sleep systems before. This is my pad and bag for the cooler months for backpacking and hiking. A nice small little set. This is Kristen's pad and bag. Now these aren't the lightest weight, but they do reach out into the 3 seasons, so I can use these in the fall as well. Summertime I can just use a quilt, for example. When it's really warm out, I don't even need a bag. I can use a quilt and just a very basic pad. But of course in winter you go a lot heavier, so your gear is going to be a lot bigger. Your shelter, for example, maybe it's a hot tent with a stove. Maybe you're doing some car camping like I've been doing lately, where you're actually just sleeping in the bed of your truck, or in my case in the back of the car. So generally the sleeping bags, the pads, and the rest of your winter gear is going to be a lot bigger. You're going to need a sleeping bag that has a lot more insulation in it. You're going to need a sleeping pad that has a higher R value in it. So that's what I'm going to show you today. I've got a 0-degree sleeping bag here. I've got a really high R value sleeping pad, and then I also have a foam pillow. So of course all this stuff is from Sea to Summit. I love Sea to Summit. They are probably by far my favorite manufacturer when it comes to sleeping bags and pads. They're just super comfortable with the way they fit. Some companies, their mummy bags are really tight. It's really hard to roll around in. I'm not a small dude. I'm like 5'11", 220 pounds. So I do like to side sleep. I like to roll around. I don't like to be really tight up in the shoulder area or down in my leg area for that matter. So I find Sea to Summit has a really good mix of comfort and also durability. So they make really high-end stuff. Now you can see here, just by looking at the pad, for example, compared to my warmer month pad, you can see that it is a lot larger. Now this is an air pad, so it's an inflatable pad. You blow it up. This one is actually a foam pad. It's a self-inflating foam pad. And what's cool about that is you get like 4 inches of foam, so it's really like sleeping on a memory foam mattress at home. And you'll see that in a moment how super comfortable this thing is. But again, when you're packing your winter gear, it is going to be a lot bigger. Now one nice thing about Sea to Summit is that they do give you this larger bag in addition to the compression sack. So when you're storing this stuff at home, it's a good idea to store these things in the larger bags. That way you're not compressing it all the way, and that way it takes less time to uncompress when you go out to camp, and you're not going to take away from any of the insulation. It's actually a good idea maybe to take your sleeping bags out and hang them on a hanger in your closet if you have space. With these self-inflating pads, it's a good idea to leave these guys inflated at home. Maybe slide it under a mattress at home where you won't be in the way and you won't see it. That way when you go out to use your pad and bag, it takes less time for those things to loft up and for you to get the maximum efficiency from them. Let's start off with the bag here. Again, this is in sort of the larger bag that they give it to you in. I'll go ahead and I'll stuff it in the stuff sack so you can see how big that is in a moment. But this is the Ascent 3 from Sea to Summit. It is a 0-degree bag. These come in the 0-degree, which I have. They also come in a 15-degree and a 25-degree in the Ascent line. And what I like about the Ascent line, again, is that you have more room in the, across your hips and legs and feet, and more room across your shoulders than you would with a traditional mummy bag. Now Sea to Summit makes tons of different bags. They make synthetic bags and down bags. All my bags are down bags. I just prefer that. I feel like it's warmer. It's obviously definitely lighter and more compressible, but it is more expensive, so you can weigh those options. If you go to purchase something, you could purchase the synthetic and save a bit of money. Sea to Summit actually calls this their relaxed mummy, and that's exactly what it is. It's more relaxed throughout the entire bag. Now the pad I have is their Comfort Deluxe pad. It is a self-inflating pad. This has an R rating of 6.5, which is really high. I think my other pads are like in the 3 to 4 R value range. Now there are some companies like Xped, for example, that make pads all the way up into the 7, 8, and 9 R factor if you're really going into those super below zero temps. But I've slept just fine in this, down to 10 degrees, 5 degrees, and I would have no issue going colder. And of course, the more R value, generally the bigger the bag is. And this is a pretty good size, something that you could easily fit in the car or in the sled if you're, going out camping with a bunch of gear in the winter time. Again, you're probably going to have conveyance, so you're going to have your vehicle, you're going to have your RV, you're going to have your snowmobile or ATV, or even pull, your gear in on a poke. So having larger gear in the winter is not necessarily that big of a deal. So most of the Sea to Summit pads come in either a rectangular shape or a mummy shape, and then you have a wide and you have a long wide. So if you're a little bit taller, 6 foot 6 inches, I believe, is the long, 6 foot is the regular. So this is the regular wide. It's 25 inches wide and then by 6 feet. They do have a large wide, which would be the 6.6, 6 foot 6 inch by 25 inch wide, and then they actually have a double as well. So again, those would be much larger. But what I'm going to do, since this does take a few minutes to loft up, I'm going to go ahead and get this stuff set up in the car, and then I'll show you some more of the specifics. Another nice feature on this stuff sack here is that it opens from the front, but the side also compresses open. So when you go to put this back in the bag, you're not struggling trying to get this put back in the bag. So I really appreciate that. I really appreciate when companies give you a stuff sack, that is actually big enough for the product that you put it in, because just because they can fit it in at the factory where they have robots roll these things up and stuff them in the bags doesn't mean they're that easy to get put back together, especially when it's cold out in the wintertime. So I do appreciate that. All my Sea to Summit gear has stuff sacks that are very usable. So basically, I'm just going to roll this guy out here, and we're going to go ahead and pop the little valve here. The valve on this pad is really nice, just like any other Sea to Summit pad. You basically have your top cap here. You have a two-way valve that you can, sort of a check valve that you can flip over, so when you're inflating it, you can blow in there without the air coming back, and when you're deflating it, you can actually flip that over and squeeze all the air out without it filling back up. Now, just to fill it up, I'm going to open it all the way. You can see some of the foam in there, and again, this will take a few minutes just to loft up. So I also have this foam core pillow deluxe from Sea to Summit. I'm trying this out with my winter sleep system. I love this thing. It's super comfortable. It's got like this fleece on the one side and then sort of a knit fabric on the other side. It's not the smallest thing in the world, but again, for winter camping, I really don't care. When I'm in the car, I can take as big of gear as I want. Now, they do have several different pillows. They have the inflatable ones that inflate to about the size of my hand. I use those in the summertime for backpacking. But the cool thing about this is it just has a Velcro strap here, and then it basically just unrolls, and you can flip this strap around, hook it to the back, and then you have a nice pillow. It's got this foam stuff in it. I actually believe this is upcycled from their pads. The leftover that they shave off the pads goes into these pillows, so they're using a bit of recycling there, which is really cool. And then this also has a pocket that you could stash your phone or earphones or something like that in. But all in all, it's just a really cool little pillow, and it goes with this sleep system really well. All right, so if you couldn't tell, I switched locations because it was just too windy at the parking lot I was filming in. But you can see here that my pad is fully inflated. So once it's fully decompressed, you can blow a couple puffs of air in here to get it to your desired firmness. Now again, this is a memory foam type mattress, so it's very comfortable. And one of the things that I noticed about the self-inflating versus the air mattresses is you don't get that bounce. Sometimes when you inflate a inflatable air mattress, you kind of get that bounce when you're laying on it. When you roll over, you kind of get that bounce. You don't get that on this. And again, it's the closest thing to a mattress at home, and it's super duper comfortable. So this particular mat has 30D knit over foam. So again, it's foam 4 inches thick and 25 inches wide by 6 foot long, or 72 inches. So it works perfect in my car, fits perfectly, also fits perfectly on a cot, which I've used it on, or you could obviously sleep on this in a tent. So let's talk a little bit about the bag. It fits perfectly on this. You can see that it lofts up very quickly for a 0-degree bag. I absolutely love this bag. The Ascent 3 has a 20D nylon shell with the ultra dry down 750 plus. So one thing about Sea to Summit down bags is they use duck down. They don't use goose down, which is the cheaper alternative. You actually get a certificate with your bags that show you the fill, and they show you the premium quality down that goes in it, which is cool. So really, really high quality. And again, this is the Relax Mummy, so you can see that it doesn't taper down too much towards the foot box. You know, you got a lot of room for your feet here, and then up towards the shoulder area here, you have a lot of room for your shoulders. If you have broad shoulders like me, or you just like to side sleep or roll over in your sleep, you can do that. So you have a nice hood on here, which should come with every 0-degree bag. A nice large baffle here. What the baffle does is when you cinch that thing up close to your head, you know you're going to keep all the air. That baffle traps the air down below, so that you're going to keep all that nice air in there. This bag has beefy YKK number 5 zips, which is really cool. They do zip from both sides, so you can ventilate this thing if you need to. It has a half zip on this side. On the other side here, it is a full-length zip, and it goes down all the way to the foot box here. And on the foot box, you do have a zip that you could open up the foot box if you get a little bit hot. Maybe you want to, you know, stick your feet out, for example. You could do that. Another nice thing with that full zip is that you can unzip this all the way, and you can turn it into a comforter if you wanted to do that. So a great bag not only to have for camping, but a great bag to have in the vehicle. You could unzip this, you know, and the kids could, you know, use it in the back of the car as just a comforter. It will also hook to several other bags, so you could connect 2 bags together as well. But very, very nice, very nice loft, super duper warm, super duper comfortable. I stayed comfortable down to 5 degrees in the teepee. I was down to about 5 degrees when I car camped with this. So I'm really, you know, happy with this bag, as I knew I would be. I love all Sea to Summit bags. They just work excellent. And then this particular one, again, has the wider shape so that, you know, you're not constricted as you are in some of the other brands' mummy bags. This bag, again, is the Ascent 3, so it is 6 foot long. If you're a little bit taller, you could get the 6.6 version. And again, it matches up perfectly with the pad because this is 6 foot long. Again, you could get this in the long version, and you could get the bag in the long version if you're a little bit taller. So this is what the complete system looks like in my car. Hopefully you can see that. We got a little bit of sun glare here, but perfectly sized that I can have the pad and the bag on the right, and I can have all my gear down the left side and sleep super duper comfortable. Of course, the sun isn't helping me out at all today, but you add your foam pillow and you've got yourself one heck of a sleep system that's going to keep you warm down well below 0 and be super comfortable just like you're at home. So again, full length zipper on the left hand side, so you can get in really easily through the side of my vehicle. I can zip that all the way up, and then this half zip on the other side is really nice too, because you can zip that down halfway, and then I'm able to access my electronics. I can access any gear that I need, and then when I need to really, you know, button up tight for the night, you can zip both those sides right up. I've got my hood, I've got my foam pillow, and I'm telling you, this is one comfortable setup. Here's a closer look at the pillow once it is fully uncompressed here. Again, these come in several different sizes. This is their deluxe, which is the largest size. You can see super comfortable, just like a pillow at home. We can also take a closer look at the fabric on the bag. Just super cozy, super comfortable, really durable quality fabric with that quality duck down in it. These Sea to Summit bags, again, that's why they're my favorite. I've reviewed tons and tons of different bags, and the Sea to Summit lineup for their pads and their bags and all their gear really is just amazing. They are really one of my favorite companies when it comes to outdoor gear. Finally, I wanted to show you how easily this gear is to stow away, because that is a big part of it, especially in the colder months. So I mentioned this valve earlier. You have the full release valve here, which you can use to get most of the air out, and then you just flip around the check valve here to get the rest of it. So what I'm going to do is just flip this pad around, and then I'm simply going to fold it in thirds. So 1/3, 2/3. I'm just going to sit on it for a minute. That will get most of the air out, and then I'm going to turn this check valve around 180 degrees, just twist it and lock it into the adapter there. Now this is going to allow me to get the rest of the air out without it going back in the pad. So what I'm going to do now is just flip that back around, and I'm just going to simply roll it up as tight as I can. Once you get towards the top, you're going to press the rest of that air out. I usually will do that twice, so that's once. Flip it back out there, and then I'm going to roll it again. And that's all it takes. And then I'm going to grab the stuff sack, and I mentioned before how important it is to have a stuff sack that is actually easy to get your item back into. Look how easy this is. The pad just goes right in there, and again you have this sort of expandable side on here, so I can just take this, put it in there, I can close the top, and then I can cinch down the side as well, and your pad is nicely stowed. I also mentioned that the bag comes with a compression sack as well, so I'll just grab our bag here, fully lofted, and we can just stuff this in the compression sack. If you did need to save a little bit of room, you could use the compression sack, but I use the bigger sack, and it is nice that it comes with that zippered larger sack for storage. So just like that, it's in there, it's all set. You can fold this top flap over, and again, if you needed extra room, you can press down on this and pull these sides down. And that is pretty compressed for a 0-degree bag. That lofts up as much as this bag does. Again, I don't store it like this, but if you did need to save a little bit extra room, it comes with this sack as well. The pillow is super simple as well. You just start from one end, roll it towards that Velcro closure, and your pillow is nice and compact. So just like that, I got my winter sleep system, I got my super comfortable pad, got my 0-degree bag, and I got a super comfortable pillow. Hope you guys enjoyed the video today. Give it a big thumbs up for me. Leave me that comment in the comment section below letting me know what you guys think of Sea to Summit products. I'll have links to this stuff as well as the other products that I use in the warmer months. Again, my warmer month sleeping bags, mine and Kristen's, are 3-season setups, so they are a little bit thicker. You can get smaller bags if you're just doing some real warmer camping, maybe a quilt and a super duper light pad. But again, we do mostly 3-season and 4-season camping, so this is the system that works for me. And for a 4-season system to be, this compact and to take up this much room is no big deal. It fits perfectly in my car. This mattress is a game changer. It's just like sleeping at home. Super comfortable, whether you're in the car, you're in a tent, on a cot, whatever. So definitely check out Sea to Summit products. Please share this video with any friends or family that you think might find this interesting on your social media. And if you haven't already done so, please click that red subscribe button and that notification bell to be notified of new videos.